Okay, Ben Cat, this is probably the final video, just in the ground floor bedroom here. Just have been around the project with Tommy and John, just looking over all the various issues you raised and generally checking on the progress. In here seems pretty much finished though. Obviously really pleased to see all the paint on the walls and things. I think having stood in here myself though now, I'm pretty much in agreement that there's not really room for a stove in here. I think I'd be rethinking that. It feels really tight, and to be honest the heating's also been on all weekend and it is absolutely roasting in here. The floors are warm, the radiators are on. Joinery, pretty pleased with the quality of the facings and joinery around about the doors. Just into the bathroom, I think the selection of tiles and fitting in here is really nice. I think this is one of the nicest rooms in the house actually, so well done Kat. In terms of things that still need to be done in here, I think it's just the skirting boards need to go on at the panelling. But yeah, beautiful floor tiles, beautiful. Loft hatches in, toilet looks good. Really pleased with the quality of the joinery work. The sills are really nice. John told me he had actually stained or coated the top of the sills with the same stain he'd used on the worktop just to give them a bit of protection, which I think is pretty sensible. Obviously though, the facings and door frames, you've asked for them to be left quite raw and uncoated. There's a couple of things. I mean, if you touch that with any oil on your hands, it's going to soak right into the wood and it's going to look terrible. You're not going to be able to get rid of it. Also there's some small like tack holes in it from where it's been nailed together. These would normally be filled after it's been varnished. If it was me, I would be looking at putting a matte varnish on them to stop them soaking up moisture or oily fingerprints and things like that, but ultimately it's your decision. Obviously all the flooring's down. These were a couple of sort of small marks from moving the furniture. I'm sure you're aware of that, Ben. Tommy and John have said they'll have a look at that for you though and try and see if they can dull them down a little bit. Obviously the fireplace, the guys have got a hearth in the back of the van, so that should be fitted in today. They're obviously going to make it completely symmetrical so it sticks out equidistant both sides, because the concrete plinth doesn't at the moment. The oak mantle, get a good idea of that. It's nice and substantial. It's a nice bit of timber with some nice colouring in it. Again, this room feels pretty much finished. Again, there's plenty of heat coming out of the radiator. Curtain rail holders are in. Doors look good. Everything's running smoothly. Just coming into the hall and out into the front lobby. Really like the blue. I was a bit suspect of it when Ben suggested it at first, but I take that back. Again, nice joinery work on the sill here. And John built a small cabinet here. They've just still got to put some hinges on, but it's nice and tidy. It's not too, it doesn't stick out too much. Through into the hallway, which in terms of their building work is again finished. All the skirtings have been filled in around the tops. I think just on this existing boarding, I think I would look to fill those small gaps with caulk. It's basically a two board that meets like this. And they've just opened up over time. To my eyes it looks a bit unfinished and untidy. It's obviously a finishing kind of decoration job, but I think it would really sharpen the whole thing up. Okay, so again, just close up on the joinery. Quality looks pretty good. Again, you can see these small pinholes just from where it's been fixed. I mean, really it should be varnished and then the filler put in then. Just into the main kitchen space. I was really pleased when I saw this all done. It looks quite different since the last time I was here. I'll just move about a little bit like you see. The guys have moved the light like you asked. You can see the doors here through the kitchen. Looks really good. I'm sure Ben's probably seen most of this the last time. This is into the small bathroom. Again, I think this was all done when you were here last time. This is the isolator for the fan on the wall. That looks heavy. Oh shit, sorry.
You shut the doors, it's covered there.
That's your hearth going in. Small cupboard, I think Ben's already seen this already. At the back of this is how you get access to your system for maintenance. Obviously your washing machine in there, so it's a good little utility space actually, despite the headroom. Okay, so into the kitchen. There you go, Tommy, it's okay? Again, looks good to see all these things in. So doors that still have to be fitted on below the sink. The guys are doing that this afternoon. The worktops had one coat of sealer, same way as the windowsills have. You need that for the waterproofing on the worktops. Guys have pinned all of these windows like we spoke about after Anderson not really been very helpful. Obviously they've done this and not been paid for it, which is probably the main thing to consider. But I'm not going to mention that just now. Good to see the fridge fitting so well in that space. Let's see if I can give you a sort of pan round to let Kat get an idea what the space feels like. Okay. Again, pretty minimal stuff required to be done in here. Through into your back porch. We've got a skirting board to go on this side. We've got a door handle to go on the cover for the boiler. This cupboard also still needs to be taped and painted just to tidy up the plasterboard. See the boilers in here. Quite a bit of heat in this cupboard actually. Underneath all these tins of paint and the like is the small seat Tom and John have built. The back panel comes off, this part here comes off to allow you to get access to the underfloor heating manifolds, which is something potentially you might need access for maintenance in the future. So if we just go back through the house, head upstairs. So the staircase is looking pretty good. Wasn't actually specified in the contract, but the guys have replaced this handrail for you. Really because they took the old one down as part to get materials up and things like that. But it's much sturdier, much safer. I'm much happier about that. In terms of upstairs, I'll just take my shoes off. Tommy and John are essentially finished up here. I've asked them to put a little bit of filler around a couple of bits around the roof light, but that's about it. I think this is probably broadly the same as when Ben was here. The carpet's obviously down. Feels like it's got a nice thick underlay on it. All the joinery's done up here. Tommy has just advised me though that the restrictors and end caps that have been supplied by the window supplier are not appropriate to this window. So we need to get back onto Anderson again to try and get the right restrictors and the right end caps, which is really annoying. Luckily it's not going to affect the building warrant, but it is a bit annoying after how firm Ben was with them. Just through into the other room. We're just looking in the small bathroom, which I think has worked pretty successfully. I'm 6'2" and I can comfortably stand in here. The roof light position obviously stops you banging your head, which is great. I'm actually surprised at the space we have in here. A little bit of paint there, I've asked the guys to sand that back and just tidy it up. But again, pleased with that space. It's bigger than I thought it would be. Upstairs bedroom number 2. Again, the guys are finished up here really. It looks pretty good. Yeah, you haven't really picked up any sort of snagging related issues in here. Nice space. It's so good we got rid of those wardrobes at the end of these rooms. It's made the rooms so much bigger. The loft's in, loft hatches. I think that's everything really up here. Just pause for a minute.
You've got a cancer for this.
Looks beautiful. So just take you around the outside. Oil tanks obviously in. Just come down to the end of the garden. You can see your water point is just in the camera. Down in there, just at the corner. Let's have a quick look over the back of the house. Close now. The rubber seal is on the flue exit, which means the heating's working fine. In this little door is your water filters, it's all insulated, and your external tap. This big silver metal piece is the UV filter. That's the piece that we need additional bits for. This isn't sealing against the system, so at the moment it's been bypassed. The UV filter, which is this big chrome tube, is actually what deals with the bacteria in the water, so it is something that needs doing. Just come back. Guys have got the timber fascias on there, they just need to put the downpipes on. Obviously protective film still on the windows just to keep them clean. It's the vent in your kitchen. Just come around the side. You can see your gas bottles are in with the emergency shut off and the switchover valve. Bit of a tight fit, but I'll call it designed. So if we just keep on walking round, there's some gravel still to go in at the back door to level that ground up. There's obviously some repair to the render to be carried out. Just come down here. This is the emergency shut off valve for the oil. No way around it being mounted externally. On the front. Let's try and keep back so you get a good feel of it. Ben's done a good job at the painting. So externally, this is where the bulk of the work still has to be done this week. Inside looks good and is pretty much finished. Just need to get up to those timbers around the windows. John and Tommy have got to order some more timber in for that. You can see none of the gravel's been done out the front yet. Field drains in. Asked John and Tommy to get rid of all these cables that are hanging down here. And just so the last thing to mention is the ground level. John and Tommy have raised a bit of concern about taking this concrete away because it's going to expose the foundation. Ideally we'd want to bring the level up to where this grill is here, but that's quite a bit and it's going to take quite a bit of gravel to bring that ground level up. I would have thought, I mean, at least 10-12 tonnes. Certainly to take it out to here and build that ground level up. If I go back around here, where some of the concrete has been broken up, you can see I'm not sure we should really carry on breaking out much more concrete. It's not as bad up here, but the ground level falls away even more dramatically down at the other end of the building. I'm not sure I know I said to Ben we should take it away, but seeing that, I'm maybe not sure it's such a clever move. Again, it's more about protecting the base of the building, making sure that moisture's not getting in to the building at that level. It's not a problem up at the high end, but further down at the other end of the house, I think it's going to be a bit of an issue. So all in, inside looks great. The blue looks really good on the doors. Quite a bit to do at a high level on the front outside, but I think John and Tommy know how much is involved, and they've got a pretty hard week of finishing off plans, so I'm hoping by Friday they'll have a good bulk of this done. In terms of quotes for gravel, it's still really much what we need. One of the guys have been in the build base on Isla pricing it up, looking at it, but I think we'll just have to wait a little bit longer for that information from them. Okay, well, let's sign off for that, Ben and Kat, and I'll speak to you soon.